want to move on to our rapid fire question and answer segment. I've got 5 questions that I want each of you to answer. And the first one you can take a little bit longer to answer, but each of you have had prolific careers in real estate. You probably have many deals to choose from. Describe what your most favorite deal is or accomplishment. I'll start with you, Colin.
I will go with a project that we just finished 6 months ago because it's top of mind and topical. We built there was a little church on Pendrell and Thurlow on the backside of St. Paul's. They were looking to redevelop their property. They were land rich, cash poor. They wanted a new facility. They wanted some affordable housing. And so we worked with them. We built 45 affordable housing units. We built them a church. We built them a multi-purpose room. We built them some offices. And we built a 161-unit rental building. And the density that we got for the tower paid for the facilities and the affordable housing units. So I thought it was a great partnership, great model on how, responsible development can be done, and hopefully a model that we can do more of in the future.
That's very good. Rob?
My favorite transactions are ones where I've been able to accomplish some major community and environmental benefits. And I've been fortunate to be able to create quite a number of parks in the province, thousands and thousands of acres of parkland that we've donated to the Nature's Trust in the province of British Columbia. One of the deals we did at Granville and Dunsmuir Street, we built a handicapped access transit station for the subway. And in doing that on the property that we owned there, we saved the government $30 million. And we provided universal handicapped access. That was the only station in the system where people in wheelchairs could not access the system. We built a School of Musical Excellence on Seymour Street with our partner, Wall Financial, to benefit the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. That was something I really enjoyed because I've been enjoying the Vancouver Symphony for my entire life. And something that we've been working on over the last few years that very important to me is that we worked with the government of BC to stop the 3 tons of copper a day that was emanating out of the Britannia mine into Howe Sound. And that was a very complex transaction. But that amount of copper a day going into Howe Sound was destroying the entire environmental ecosystem of that area. And so stopping that pollution has now restored that part of Howe Sound. So that's something I'm very proud of.
That's a great story. And after.
Well, I came in through the system via the broker's world. And they used to say, they get all the rookies lined up. This is in the 80s. And they say, look to your left, look to your right, and 1 year from now, only one of you would be here. So I'm actually proud that we made it this far through all these years. And the second thing that comes to mind is not a deal. It's the relationships that we formed over the years. Brick and mortar is our asset class, but our business is relationships. The focus of our business relationship. And what I'm very, very proud of is the 40 team members. Young people would come and work with me for 3 or 4 years and then go on and conquer the world. So we had a total of 40 team members, and we're still once a team member, always a team member. And it's those relationships that we built over the years that are really, really meaningful to me.
Well, after you've been a great mentor, so it's a great compliment to you. So these next 4 questions are going to be quicker because I want to leave time for questions from the audience. So other than Vancouver, what city in North America would you prefer to invest in? Colin?
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. Okay.
Toronto. I was sorry to jump in there. Yep. Real quickly, I was with CPPIB, the granddaddy of all Canadian pension funds, on Monday afternoon in Toronto. And they have exceptional research. And the guy I was sitting with says, do you realize that 100,000 people a year move into the GTA? I said, yeah, that's pretty good. Very nice. He said, that's the same as New York City. It's the same as greater New York City. So Toronto, I think, is its value compared to Vancouver pricing. The growth of the schools, the hospitals, the technology, finance, insurance, everything's there. I think Toronto is going to be a great long-term bet for people that are willing to make the hike there once a month.
What was the temperature there yesterday?
Listen, Indians like minus 40 degrees.
You can own real estate. You don't have to live there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Rob, what's your city?
Well, I had arguably the nicest portfolio of apartment buildings in Toronto. So I'm a Toronto fan. Having said that, I got tired of the 30 and 40 below weather. My favorite city is Atlanta, Georgia. Outside of Vancouver. It's the hub of the entire Southeast. It has a 100 million person trading area. The Fortune 500 companies, 450 have offices there. Great quality of life. It hasn't had a year since the Civil War where it didn't have population growth and job growth that was positive. I've also got lots of friends there, and I get to play golf at the Augusta National Golf Club every year, and that makes me happy.
That's a nice perk.
Sure.
Colin.
I agree with that, but I think Toronto, the challenge for our business, especially on the condo side, the legislation in the U.S. is completely different than in Canada. And so whether it be lawsuits or the ability to hold on to deposits on pre-sales, it's a completely different landscape. So for condo, I'd say Toronto.
I'm going to answer the question. I would have to say mine would be Seattle. I just think it's just an awesome city. It was off the radar, and it's unbelievable what's happened there. Okay, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Who wants to go first? What percentage of your personal net worth is invested in real estate? Colin.
99.9999999.
Rob.
Over 95%.
After.
Ditto.
Yeah. Good choice. That's why you're in the real estate business. Okay, we got some elections coming up. It's not what you want to have happen. What do you think will happen? Will Trudeau get reelected this fall, and will Trump get reelected in 2020? Colin.
Trudeau will get reelected, and if Trump doesn't get impeached, he'll get reelected.
Rob.
I also believe that Justin Trudeau will be reelected. In respect of President Trump, I think if the Democrats elect someone from the far left of their party to be up against him, then I think Trump will win. I'm also not convinced at all that Trump will actually choose to run. If the Democrats choose someone like Joe Biden, I think that Mr. Biden will win over Mr. Trump.
What do you think about Howard Schultz running as a Democrat?
I thought it was a great idea when I heard it. So I hope he does, and I also hope Michael Bloomberg runs. And I hope to have a very healthy debate amongst the Democratic Party, because at this point it's going too far to the left, and they need some other, I think, people like Mr. Schultz or Mr. Bloomberg to pull it back to a more centrist party.
I'm going to make your life easy. Yes and no.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, last question, and I'm for the evening. What book have you read recently that you would recommend to the audience?
A Prayer for Owen Meany.
Okay.
A Prayer for Owen Meany. John Irving.
Rob?
I just finished the book called Life by Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, and it was massively entertaining.
Colin?
I'm reading a book called High Output Management by the founder of Intel, which is phenomenal, older book. And a really fun read that I just finished in a few days was called The Third Door, which was really interesting.